Hello friends, welcome back to Kane Studies. Today we'll discuss the preamble of Indian Constitution as part of our Indian Polity series for CAPF 2020. So let's begin. This is presented by me, Nikesh Singh. So in preamble, the questions usually comes from this highlighted words. As you can see, the green colored words, the red colored words, fine. So the green colored words here shows the nature of Indian state, and the red colored words here shows the objectives of Indian state. And here the people of India shows that we have a popular sovereignty. The 26th day of November 1949 shows the date of adoption of the constitution. So the preamble as a concept first originated in American constitution, whereas the preamble of Indian constitution was based on objectives resolution which was drafted by Jawaharlal Nehru. Preamble is also known as the horoscope or the identity card of the Constitution. So, to begin with, let's start with the nature of Indian state. So, the first word is India is a sovereign country. So that means India can conduct its affairs both internally and externally without the influence of any other country or any other institution. So the second point is India is neither a dependency nor a dominion. On 15th August 1947, India became an independent dominion, whereas it became sovereign on 26th January 1950. So India can acquire a foreign territory or cede a part of its territory. So India can acquire a foreign territory and cede a part of its territory, which means that, as you may remember, that the land boundary agreement with Bangladesh, where India ceded a part of its territory. So it's also a role of a sovereign power. The second word is socialist. So the socialist word was incorporated with the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. The same act also incorporated a provision under DPSP read as participation of workers in management of industries. The Constitution of India strives for democratic socialism, not communistic socialism. The communistic socialism is also known as Marxist type of socialism, whereas democratic socialism is more of a Gandhian socialism. So, in communistic socialism, there is a state-led development, whereas in democratic socialism, people elect their representatives who go on through a democratic process of elections and enact laws for the benefit of the vulnerable section of the society. The third word is secular. So it was also added by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. So there are two concepts of secularism. The first is positive concept and then second is negative concept. Negative concept of secularism means the complete separation of state from religion, whereas India has opted for positive concept of secularism. That means India, the state can interfere in the matters of religion. Okay, the secular features of the Constitution are enshrined in the fundamental rights from Article 25 to 28 of the Constitution. The positive rights mean the positive concept of secularism means that state can open the doors of Hindus institution or other for the discriminated section of the society. So the next word is democratic. Under the democratic, there are two kinds of democracy: direct democracy and indirect democracy. In indirect democracy, such as India, we elect representatives who go to represent us in the parliament. Whereas under the direct democracy, there are various measures such as referendum, recall, initiative, and plebiscite. Example of the country is Switzerland. In India also, The institution of direct democracy is practiced at Gram Sabha level. So democracy does not only mean the voting power of electors. It also means the rule of law, regular elections, independent judiciary. So the last word under the nature of Indian state is republic. So the republic connotes that India is a democratic polity, monarchy and republic. So India's name is Republic of India. So under republic, it means that the head of the state is elected, whereas in Britain, the position of head of state is hereditary, such as currently held by Queen Elizabeth II. The political sovereignty and the absence of any privileged class. Political sovereignty means that India or the citizens can participate in the elections and also have the freedom of association and other rights. And there is no specialized class in the country. All are to be treated equally. So the second topic is objectives of the constitution. The first word is justice. So the objectives of the constitution can be remembered through Julie. Fine. JU means justice, LI means liberty, E means equality. So the word justice has been taken from Russian Revolution. The preamble provides for social, economic, and political justice. So under the social justice, there are certain special provisions for children and women under Article 15 and 16 of the Constitution. Whereas the economic justice, there are right of living wage under the directive principle of state policy. And under the political justice, there are reservation of seats for women and SC/STs. Fine. So in order to understand the objectives, we need to relate fundamental rights and the DPSP, or the directive principle of state policy. So the next word is liberty. Liberty has been taken from the French Revolution. So the preamble provides for liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. It is mentioned in Article 19 and Article 25 of the Constitution. So there are two concepts of liberty, positive concept as well as the negative concept. The positive concept of liberty provides that liberty is not absolute, it's qualified, that it can be restricted on certain grounds such as public health and law and order. Negative liberty means that absence of restraint on the individual. That means absolute liberty, there are no restrictions. The fundamental rights under the Article 19 and 21 and 20 the fundamental rights under Article 19 and 25 are restricted, not absolute. The restrictions are such as public health, law and order. Okay, moving on to next. The third word is equality. The word has been taken from French Revolution. The preamble provides for equality of status and of opportunity. So under the Constitution, there are three types of equality: civic, political, and economic equality. So the civic equality is mentioned from Article 14 to 18, such as equality before law. The political equality is mentioned like no one can be discriminated for inclusion in the electoral rolls on the basis of caste, sex, gender. Fine. So this is the political equality. Whereas economic equality means, so it is mentioned under the directive principle of state policy that both men and women should be paid equally for equal work. Fine. So the next word is fraternity, which has been taken from the French Revolution. So fraternity provides for the dignity of the individual and as well as the unity and integrity of the nation. So the word integrity was added by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. The unity and integrity of the nation is somewhat mentioned in Article 15A, fundamental duty to promote the spirit of common brotherhood and etc. The dignity of the individual has been held by the Supreme Court under Article 21, right to live with dignity. So Ambedkar called for a trinity, which is liberty, equality, and fraternity. So the last topic is the preamble of the Constitution, whether it's part of the Constitution or not, and its amendability. So in Berubari Union case 1916, the Supreme Court held that preamble is not a part of the Constitution. Whereas in the Keshavanand Bharati case 1973, the Supreme Court overruled its judgment and said that the preamble is part of the Constitution and it can be amended as well. But the basic features of the preamble cannot be amended. And preamble is also non justiciable. That means you cannot visit courts for the violation of the rights or something mentioned in the preamble. So that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. And you can call this number for any assistance and visit our site for the test series. Thank you. Have a nice day.